Live from the Clemente Center on the campus of Florida Tech in Melbourne. It's day one of the 2024 Florida Tech Holiday Classic, Game 2, as the Clayton State Lakers take on the Tampa Spartans. And a pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Jerry Durney here with you on the Florida Tech Digital Network. If you're just joining, we're glad you're aboard with us on this Friday before Christmas. If you hung with us through the first game, glad you stuck with us. Glad you're with us for matchup involving a top 25 team in the country in Division II, and that is Tom Jesse's Tampa Spartans, who enter today at number 15 in the latest WBCA top 25 and a record of 9-2. And they have certainly earned that with their performance, not just this year, but over the past couple of years as well, as they have gone to the Elite Eight each of the past 2 years. And it's just about time for the starting lineups of this one. Tampa will be the visitors today. Clayton State will be the home team, so you'll see Tampa introduced first under Tom Jesse. So we'll give you the starting lineup first for Tampa. Expect to see today the 5'6" sophomore guard out of Sarasota. That's Olivia Davis. They'll be joined by one of the best in the SSC. That's Audrey Ramsey, the 5'7" grad student out of Boca Raton. Also in the backcourt will be the 6'1" graduate transfer from FIU out of Morovis, Puerto Rico. That's Sariana Rodriguez. In the front court, it'll be the 6'1" graduate student from Westchester, Pennsylvania, and a transfer from Vermont. That's Marissa McDonald. And another one of the SSC's best in the middle, the 6'1" senior from Brentwood, Tennessee. That is Zoe Pillar. I'm sure we'll be talking about her a lot today under the guidance of Tom Jesse and this phenomenal Tampa team. They take on a Clayton State team that enter play today with a record of 2-7. They are 0-1 in the Peach Belt Conference. It's their first time playing since last Thursday. So we'll give you the lineup for Clayton State under 11th year head coach Kalina Coleman. First is the 5'8" junior from Lexington Park, Maryland. That's Dejanay Green. Joining her as well is 5'5" senior from Brooklyn. That's Jada Waite, along with the 5'7" junior from Phoenix City, Alabama, Jasmine Burtz. In the front court will be the 5'9" senior from Mobile, Alabama, Jada Alston, as well as the 6' sophomore from Fort Lauderdale, and that is Eteria Gibbons. Tampa looking to keep it going as they, we mentioned they come in with a 9-2 record on the year. They're 3-0 in SSC play. This is their first game since last Saturday when they defeated Lynn at home 72-61 thanks to Zoe Pillar's 19 points. Also coming off wins against Florida Southern and St. Leo in SSC play. This is the fourth all-time meeting between these two teams. They last met 2 years ago in Tampa. All three of the prior meetings were at the Bob Martinez Center, although Clayton State holds a 2-1 advantage in the all-time series. They've met back in 2011 and 2013 as well, which was back in the era, of course, Clayton State, a national champion back in 2011, and were quite the force in Division II for quite a while. Tampa trying to get there. They've been awfully close the past 2 years, looking to continue to do that this year. Tampa wearing the road black, Clayton State wearing their road white, blue lettering and numbering with the orange trim. The Lakers will be going left to right on your screen here in quarter number one. Glad you're with us on this Friday before Christmas. Trying to go into the post early on, and that's going to be Eteria Gibbons, sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale. And the Lakers will take the early lead through Jada Alston. One of the two seniors in the starting five for Kalina Coleman, a Laker through and through, played her college ball at Clayton State and then took over just before the 2014-15 season, as the layup from Marissa McDonald is no good. The follow-up by Pillar does not go either, and cannot get her own rebound, and follow-up does not go either. But we'll be seeing a lot of her today as there's a turnover from Burtz, and the Spartans go to work. Here's Sariana Rodriguez. Three at the top of the key, and fouled is Audrey Ramsey. And that foul will go against Jada Alston. And Tampa have had quite the run the past couple of years in terms of making runs in the NCAA tournament and Tom Jesse said really these were two very different teams, and it really makes this year's team all the more different from last year's team. He said, so we really have a lot of seniors and a lot of newcomers, and there's not a lot in the middle with this group. Said he felt like the team that got there in 2023, he said, was one of the most talented teams he ever had. He felt like if that team didn't get there, it was on them. And he said last year, we had two graduating All-Americans that just weren't going to not let us get there. Ramsey knocks down the free throw, and of course those were Malaya Sullivan and Sydney Kinn. And Sydney Kinn has since graduated, and of course they had an excellent guard in Maya Justo as well, who has since moved on. Pillar and Ramsey are two of the returners from that team. And they're the two that, if Tampa are going to get back on the top of the SSC mountain, that they're probably going to be the two driving the bus. 3-2 in the early going. And that's going to be an offensive foul that'll be charged against Jada Waite. (2023) Tampa, they have had quite the run really since 2019-20, where they have been in the mix for either the SSC regular season title or the conference tournament title. They hosted the South Regional in 2023, and they beat Tuskegee, Lee, and Eckerd to get to St. Joseph, Missouri, where they were ultimately defeated by Glenville State. Last year, it was strictly an all-SSC affair up in Valdosta. They beat Embry-Riddle, Eckerd, and Nova Southeastern to get to the Elite Eight, including a classic game with Eckerd. I believe went to overtime. Pass into Pillar. I think that one might have touched Gibbons, but Tom Jesse does not ask for the appeal, so it'll be Laker ball. Went back to St. Joseph, Missouri last year, and ultimately fell to Ferris State. On the drive, this is Birds. Right into the two towers there of Rodriguez and Pillar. Shot clock is at 10. This will be Green. Being checked by Davis on the drive. Green underneath. Shot clock down to 5. And the Laker bench calling for it. I don't know if the Lakers on the floor see it, although Alston ultimately gets it away. The rebound briefly secured by Ramsey, but she stepped out of bounds. Tampa last year 31-7. They won 17-3 in the SSC. They were one game behind Nova Southeastern for the Sunshine State Conference regular season title. That's knocked loose and into traffic underneath, and laying it in will be Eteria Gibbons. And Clayton State hanging tough early on. Galena Coleman, the Lakers head coach, they said they're really hoping that this could be a bonding trip. They really want to get that chemistry. That there's a lot of newcomers on this Clayton State team. They're very different from the one that came down to Melbourne last year. Although that's going to be an offensive foul against Pillar. That's the first foul against Tampa. But Zoe Pillar picks up the offensive foul. We'll see the Lakers' first substitution as they'll bring on Cleo Worrells, the senior out of Hinesville, Georgia, transfer from Point University. Tampa playing man. Right around the arc, and they'll go back into the post here. It's going to be Worrells. That won't go, and the rebound grabbed by Sariana Rodriguez. Transfer from Florida International. Where it goes, this is Davis. And both teams feeling each other out to start. I'm talking with the Laker coaching staff. They said the biggest thing early on was, the most important thing that they could do if they were going to have a chance to win today was they had to dominate the glass on both ends. And talking with Tom Jesse, he said the biggest thing was, you are where your mind is. He said if you're already home for Christmas, well, guess what? You're going to lose to Santa. He said, with the teams that we schedule and the teams that we play, no team is going to be talented enough to just play their B game. And you said that maybe the biggest thing in terms of not just the mentality, but in terms of on-court, so this is a team that loves to get out in transition. You have to take care of the ball. He said we're going to face two kinds of the same defense this weekend. You know, Flagler loves to press, and so does Clayton State. He said now how they do that might be a little bit different from each other, but the most important thing is that you can't just give them free possessions. About halfway through the first quarter, you see him really getting into a rhythm offensively. And a whistle, I believe that is going to be away from the ball, and that will be a foul on Jada Waite. And that should be the third team foul on the Lakers. They'll make a substitution. Waite will come off and be replaced by Hannah Wright, senior out of Douglasville, Georgia. Waite is the Lakers' leading scorer entering play today with an average of 15.4 points per game. They get it into Pillar, and that's going to be a foul on Worrells. Not sure how you really lose track of someone like Zoe Pillar. You figure that had to be a point of emphasis, at least in terms of what they were seeing in their film study. And then obviously one of the bigger Spartans on the floor. I'm not sure how you lose her. They'll say that the foul was before the shot. So Tampa will get it underneath with 20 on the shot clock. Ramsey goes to Pillar. And then a dribble handoff. The jumper from Rodriguez does not go. And the rebound taken by Paige McDonald, who checks in. And another Laker turnover. And we have our first media timeout at the 4:51 mark of the first quarter. We'll take it with them. It's Clayton State 4, Tampa 3. We'll be right back. You're watching the Florida Tech Holiday Classic on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Welcome back. 4-3 your scores. We're about at the midway point of the first quarter. Both teams trying to fill each other out. Mentioned Tampa number 15 in the latest WBCA top 25 across the country. Grand Valley State, your number 1 at 11-0. Embry-Riddle have made it in at number 25. They're actually taking on number 16 Texas Tyler at the moment out in Las Vegas, of all places. Nova Southeastern sitting just outside the top 25. They fell out after being ranked 18th last week. And it speaks again just to the depth of the SSC as Embry-Riddle currently 10-0. Tampa entered today at 9-2. Eckerd won their game earlier today over in Lakeland. They're 8-2. Nova are 8-2. Barry are 9-2. They play later today. Of course, you got Florida Southern and Lynn both at 5-4. It just speaks to the depth of quality in this league year in and year out. Foul line jumper is good. That's Marissa McDonald, transfer from Vermont. And that gives Tampa their first lead at 5-4. Teams really hit into the benches just yet, but Clayton State retake the lead at 6-5 as we've passed the 4-minute mark. Ramsey overhead for Pillar and blocked at the basket by Itaria Gibbons. That's going to be an important matchup today. The Lakers going into transition as Kyla Green brings it back out for Wright. Green, a 5'7" freshman in the Atlanta area out of College Park, and we've got an offensive foul. That's going to be on Gibbons. And that is the 5th against the Lakers here in this quarter. It's the first against Gibbons. Selena Coleman going to her bench. And it'll be India Dowling Green, the junior out of Orangeburg, South Carolina. Gibbons will sit, as sure they're going to want to be very careful about not trying to get into foul trouble today. Ramsey being checked by Wright. 12 to shoot here for Tampa. No space really opening up for the Spartans at the moment. Won't matter for Audrey Ramsey, grad student out of Boca Raton, who's been the anchor of the backcourt the past couple of years. Puts Tampa back in front as we come up on the 3-minute mark. Green lost the ball. They'll get it right back to her from Paige McDonald. Dowling Green can't get it to go. Got the offensive rebound back, and she's fouled. And I believe that's going to be on Sariana Rodriguez. And that'll be her second team foul. We'll see Vivienne Gendy, senior out of Wisconsin, transfer from Northern Michigan, will check in as India Dowling Green will shoot 2. Dowling Green now 4 of 11 on the season at the foul line. Dowling Green, a product of Orangeburg, South Carolina. He transferred from Allen Hancock College. Second one, no good. Averaged 10.3 points per game in 2 years at Allen Hancock College. And a foul right along the sideline. And that one will be called against Kyla Green. The Spartans last year reached the Elite Eight, lost to Ferris State. They also reached the Sunshine State Conference Tournament Final before they fell to Eckerd, as those two teams had 4 phenomenal games last year. Last year in their regular season, they beat Lee, Eckerd, Nova Southeastern, and Embry-Riddle twice, and those were all tournament teams. The 16th time they've reached the NCAA tournament in their history. It's the 5th time in 6 years. Second straight year that they went to the Elite Eight, and that counts for both times they've done so in their program history. Had a lot of success, as neither free throw is good, but that's going to be a traveling violation on Burt's. Drag the foot, and it'll be Tampa ball with 2:41 to go. They won the SSE regular season title in 2019-20, 21-22, and 22-23. Those were the regular season titles. They won the SSC tournament in 2020-21. That was the only title handed out that year by the conference, just because of the shortened season. And then also won the conference tournament in 21-22 and 22-23. Tom Jesse's in his 23rd season at Tampa, or 23rd season all told at Tampa. Also had 9 seasons at Bluefield State, which is his alma mater in West Virginia, as Ramsey lets the 3 go. Won't fall, and it's rebounded by McDonald. But he took over at Tampa prior to the 2002-2003 season. And a foul called, that will be on Rodriguez, and I believe that's her second. His name littered all over the NCAA coaching record book for winning percentage in terms of active coaches and most wins, as he's at 645 in his career as McDonald knocks down the jumper. It's led Tampa to 13 NCAA tournament appearances, 7 SSC tournament championships. And he also won SSC tournament titles in 06, 07, and 09. He's laying there. It's from Marissa McDonald. In his career at Tampa, 475 and 186. Coming up on the final minute of play in the first period. It's been a slow start to this one, but Tampa trying to pull away early. They lead 10-8. Cross-court pass goes to Ramsey with 8 on the shot clock. This is McDonald going baseline. Cutting her off is Dowling Green. The jumper put up and not good by Georgia Palmieri. And here come Clayton State the other way. Leading the way is Armani Shaw. Kick back on the wing there. That's Paige McDonald. Her three won't go. Rebounded by McDonald. And there's about 4 seconds between the shot and game clock. So Tampa could play this all the way down if they want. Boy, nobody had McDonald underneath and couldn't finish, but she was fouled and will shoot 2. It's on India Dowling Green. That's her first. Lakers over the limit, but it was a shooting foul anyway. First free throw is good for Marissa McDonald. She's now 12 of 15 at the line this year. Tampa shooting well at the free throw line all told as she makes the second. Tampa entered today shooting 76.5% at the line as Clayton State will play for the final shot of the quarter here. Trailing 12-8. We enter the final 10 seconds. Ball lost, and it's going to be picked up here by Rodriguez. Playing ahead for McDonald. The pass was too far. And Clayton State still will get a chance to play for the final shot of the quarter. Letting it roll will be Jasmine Burtz. Gets by the screen. She'll put up the floater, and that'll roll around and beat the buzzer. And that ends the first quarter. And Clayton State hanging tough with Tampa after the first 10 minutes. It's Tampa 12, Clayton State 10. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is the Florida Tech Holiday Classic on the Florida Tech Digital Network.
The day had come.
Founded to educate the pioneers of the U.S. space program, Florida Tech's history is making history. Today we carry on this legacy, redefining what's possible, transforming dreams into reality, embarking on the endeavors most pivotal to the future. Florida Tech, making history, shaping the future.
Welcome back on the Florida Tech Digital Network. 12-10 is your score in favor of the Tampa Spartans as we start the second quarter. Clayton State kind of playing the game at a slower pace, and that's exactly how they want it. I think you don't want to get into a track meet with Tampa, although talking with Tom Jesse before the game, he said, I want our defense to be at that level. And I don't think any coach would ever feel good trying to outscore a team 82-78. Bring this up will be Georgia Palmieri, freshman from Bologna, Italy, and the pass tipped high and out of bounds. Clayton State last year 9-19 overall. They won 7-11 in the Peach Belt Conference. It was good for sixth place in the league. They lost in the Peach Belt Conference quarterfinal to Columbus State. They returned 3 starters from that team. Jada White, Hannah Wright, and Jasmine Burtz. Shot clock at 6 here for Ramsey, who gets the screen. Able to slip by Green, although she got to get it away. McDonald put it on the floor, and that was the mistake. She didn't have nearly enough time for that extra step. And the Lakers force a shot clock violation. (12-10) the score. The Lakers under the guidance of Kalina Coleman. This is her 11th season as she filled in as an interim before the 2014-15 season. Her 172 wins were third most among active coaches in the Peach Belt, as that layup missed by Jada Alston. And she has 118 wins in conference play, which is the second most among active coaches in the PBC. She's had 4 20-win seasons and 5 NCAA tournament appearances, the most recent of which coming in 2023. This is McDonald at the top of the key with Alston closing out. Didn't matter as Marissa McDonald knocks it down and the Spartan lead out to 5. Well, McDonald can do that. She is now 9 of 19 from beyond the arc this year. Tampa is a team doing pretty well there. Spartans as a team shooting 38.2% from deep this year, including 41.7% in conference play. That'll go a long way. And it's an inbound violation on Clayton State. As much as Tom Jesse wanted to control the turnovers, I'm sure Kalina Coleman felt the same way. You want to give a team like Tampa extra possessions. Cross-court pass. It'll be, they'll say that was last touch by Pillar. Good closing defense on the play there by Cleo Worrells. And Tom Jesse wants to talk things over. So we'll take the timeout with 8:16 remaining here in the second quarter. It's Tampa 15, Clayton State 10. We'll be right back. Quick look around the Sunshine State Conference scoreboard. Florida Southern, no troubles with Trinity College. At halftime, it is 58-14. You heard me correctly. Nova Southeastern having no trouble with Northwest Missouri State. An impressive result there in Las Vegas. That one's not in Vegas. That would be Embry-Riddle. Either way, Nova leading Northwest Missouri State 36-17. And Embry-Riddle currently trailing Texas Tyler 35-27 at the break out in Las Vegas. St. Leo about to start with Fort Lauderdale. Okay, there we go. All right. 15-12 now the score. And Pillar in trouble, and that's going to be a whistle. It'll be called against Jada Alston. There'll be a foul on the floor. That's the first of the quarter. Clayton State shooting 35.3% from the field in the first quarter, or first half so far. Tampa, meanwhile, 4 of 14 from the field. But they have been fortunate enough to get to the line where they are 6 of 7. This is Olivia Davis being shadowed. On the drive is Sariana Rodriguez working against Dejanay Green. He drives, and that did everything but go in. Rebound ultimately grabbed by Worrells, and here come the Lakers. It's the court for Waite. It's the one that makes things happen for this Clayton State team. Jumper doesn't go. It's Rodriguez with the rebound. 2 Lakers close pretty fast. Kicked out of bounds. The Lakers started their season at the end of October with an exhibition at defending national champion South Carolina. Out of respect, I'm not going to say a lot about that. just that I salute Clayton State for taking on that task. Goodness. But they opened a week later in Anderson, South Carolina, the tournament hosted by Anderson, and they lost 2 tight games. They lost by 2 to Virginia Wise and by 3 to Anderson. As Tampa will take the timeout with 6:42 remaining in the half. We'll keep it here. Then they went to the North Georgia Classic the following week and were blown out by 67 against Nova Southeastern. Came back the next day, to their credit, and beat Livingstone by 10 for their first victory. Should be noted, a couple days later, they beat Clark Atlanta on the road 57-56. And why do I bring that up? Clark Atlanta beat Tampa to start their season. So, one common opponent. Clayton State have that advantage. And then lost to Fayetteville State by 19, a team just outside the top 25. Then lost to Valdosta State by 27. Then lost to a ranked North Georgia team by 21. And their last time out was last Thursday when they lost by 23 to Shorter. This will be the end of their non-conference schedule. They will take on Florida Tech tomorrow at noon. And then they will be off till January 4th. They go back into Peach Belt Conference play against South Carolina Beaufort. As there's another 2 for Zoe Pillar. This is Jada Waite. Onto the wing, the jumper by Worrells doesn't go. And the rebound falls to Davis, sophomore out of Cardinal Mooney High School in Sarasota. She'll slow it down, and now back to Ramsey. Lakers looking for their first win against a ranked opponent since February 1st, 2023, when they beat top 10 Georgia Southwestern by 2. Of course, they went on to the NCAA tournament that year. Here come the Lakers in transition. And Henry was fouled on the handoff, although neither team really in all that much foul trouble, so that'll stay on the floor. That's on Sariana Rodriguez, and that's her second. And with that change, we see Palmieri return for Tampa. And for Clayton State, it'll be Paige McDonald, Eteria Gibbons, as well as Jasmine Burtz, who will replace Nia Young. Last time Clayton State beat a ranked non-conference team, that came back on November 22nd, 2019. They beat 20th ranked Carson Newman. Well, the basket's good, but that's going to be an offensive foul. And it's going to be underneath the basket on Eteria Gibbons, and that's her second. So Kalina Coleman has some deliberating to do. We went a little bit over her resume, but also during her time in charge at Clayton State, she's produced 2 conference defensive player of the years, 16 all-conference players, 2 all-region selections as well. She replaced Dennis Cox in July of 2014, who Dennis Cox had led Clayton State to their national championship in 2011. During her decade as both a player and assistant from 2004 to 2014, she led them to 10 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances, 11 overall, and actually also helped lead them to 4 Elite Eights, 2007, 2009, 2013, and of course the 2011 national championship. This is Palmieri. On the wing now for Davis. And was that a travel on Pillar? That might have been an illegal screen. And actually, they'll call that on Soraya Henry. That's her second. That'll be the 3rd team foul against the Lakers, so they have 1 left to give before Tampa would enter the bonus. Pillar supplies the screen, got it back from Palmieri. There's McDonald with that jumper, and You love seeing a big who's not shy, shooting it from the outside and really kind of being a threat from everywhere. Marissa McDonald has done that. And Tampa have their largest lead of the afternoon so far at 7. And for Clayton State, this is all about making sure that they don't let things get too out of hand here before the break. That one's off the back iron, being ran down by Cleo Worrells. Jumper here for McDonald does not go. Worrells again with the rebound. They'll work it back around. Swing it over for Waite. Worrells there with the screen. Fighting through was Palmieri. This is Waite. Free throw won't go. Viengendi returns. Doing 2 here is Jada Waite, 5'5" senior from Brooklyn. I mentioned the leading scorer for the Lakers entering play today. He was a 78% free throw shooter entering play today. Product of Wheeler High School. Second free throw, no good. And lost out of bounds by Worrells. Waite last year was named 3rd team All-Peach Belt as they go to the press and they're able to get a turnover from it, and Worrells takes it herself and lays it in. And Clayton State are going to have to get baskets that way to keep pace. Well, that's the problem with the press. You've got to have someone back deep as the rover. No one had Marissa McDonald, and it was an easy 2 for McDonald. McDonald entering play today averaging 8 points per game. And she's already got 11 here in the first half. Here's Waite. Into traffic, the floater good. Clayton State will cut it to 4. There's Ramsey with the fake to get out of the press. Gets it over to Jendi. Senior from Waukesha, Wisconsin. A transfer from Northern Michigan. Palmieri around the McDonald screen. Back to McDonald. And into the paint for Jendi. Able to get by Worrells and lays it in. Pillar, their leading scorer entering play today at 19.2. Ramsey averages about 12 per game. Davis 11.8. Rodriguez 11.1. We mentioned McDonald already over her average. As the jumper is no good by Waite and lost out of bounds. Tampa will take over with 2:25 remaining in the first half. Inbound goes to Ramsey. 3 in the backcourt for Clayton State. Jesse said they press, but they give you 3 different kinds of looks. Jumper here for McDonald won't go. Waite, the only one there crashing the glass. Mentioned the Laker coaching staff talking about wanting to be able to win the rebounding battle, as that 3 from deep is good from Jasmine Burtz right in front of the Spartan bench, and all of a sudden it's a 3-point game. Well, so far Clayton State are winning the rebounding advantage by 1. And they're also winning on the offensive glass as well, 6-3. Consequently, here we are inside the last 2 minutes of the first half, and it's a 1-possession game. And they'll continue to add to that as McDonald's turnaround jumper doesn't go. Burtz will slow it down, and I think the Lakers are content to play that way. There it goes. Wright, handing off for Burtz. Back to Wright, the senior out of Douglasville, Georgia. Boy, able to somehow create some space there against Palmieri. The 3 doesn't go, and the rebound grab by Jendi. 1 minute to play here in the first half. Letting it fly from deep with a hand in her face was Olivia Davis. Just the second 3 of the game for Tampa, and they needed that one, and they'll create some breathing room. The lead back up to 6. Burt's over for Waite. Back to Burt's just inside the line. That'll go. And Jasmine Burt's now has 7 to pace the Lakers here in this first half. It's a 4-point game. Davis going to slow it down. There's about 4 seconds between the shot and game clock. So Tampa can take this not quite all the way down. But it would certainly be tough for Clayton State to get something really quickly. Shot clock at 6. Over it goes to Palmieri, and I don't think the Spartans know. Palmieri's going to have to just fire that from the corner. It doesn't go. Rebound falls to right. We're inside 2 seconds. They get it to Waite, who will let it go. It was in time, but it was off the back iron. And we've got ourselves a ball game going to the locker room. At halftime, it's Tampa 26, Clayton State 22. We'll take a 15-minute break, and then we'll be back with the second half from the Clemente Center. You're watching the 2024 Florida Tech Holiday Classic on the Florida Tech Digital Network.
Hey everybody, my name is Celeste. I'm currently a grad student here at Florida Tech, getting my master's in computer information systems, and I'm also on the softball team. This year I've been lucky enough to work in a work-study role with sports performance, and I will be taking you guys through a tour of ETC, where scholar athletes spend a lot of their time just throughout the day. Let's go. This is a meeting room where teams host team meetings, they watch pre- and post-game film, and sometimes we even have media day. It's a really good area for scholar athletes to utilize because we're also able to do our homework in here and even just get some downtime. Follow me. So in this hallway, we have the entrances to both our locker rooms where men's and women's soccer are, men's and women's lacrosse, and baseball and softball kind of hang out and host all our stuff. Right behind us over here is the laundry room where teams do their laundry, and they also have their game day stuff set out. So this is a weight room where teams hold team lifts and open lifts. Fun fact, actually, these racks are brand new. They got installed in the spring. If you follow me through these doors, we're gonna go to the VTC turf. So this is a VTC turf where all our sports teams utilize it for speed and agility with the sports performance team, as well as open field practices for our field teams. It's a good space to get some recovery in and also just get a nice running workout in as well. So this is our cold tub room where athletes get to utilize the cold tub to recover their muscles, and also there's a pre-post lift snack area with a couple vending machines. Our sports performance coaches' offices are back here, and a quick fun fact, this cold tub is currently sitting at about 42 degrees. This is the athletic training room where athletes come in to get rehab and treatment for their injuries. Honestly, we spend a lot of time in here because a lot of us end up being really sore, but the good part about it is that Graham has really good tunes and his music does not disappoint.
Welcome everyone, I'm Preston Hoovers from Florida Tech Baseball, and welcome back to Beyond the Game. I'm here with Derek Duplishin. We got a couple questions for you, so let's start walking. First off, Derek, what's your major and why did you choose it?
So I'm civil engineering, and I chose that major because growing up I was really good at math, and it kind of translated into me wanting to do something in that field. And then when I started looking into civil engineering a little bit more, I decided that designing stuff, working with people, that was kind of like my passion.
Nice. If you had one skill that you learned from playing lacrosse that you brought into the classroom, what would it be?
I would just say the teamwork aspect of the game, being able to cooperate, work with people, talk to people, problem solve, stuff like that.
Nice. Now, if you've had one professor or class that's really stood out or you would say is your favorite class, what would it be here at Florida Tech?
I would say so far computer applications was really fun because I got to kind of see the CAD aspect of everything, design things, make floor plans, stuff like that.
Now, If you would have one piece of advice to a future student choosing your major, what would it be?
Yeah, I would say to just learn how to manage your time efficiently, make a calendar, because it's easy to fall behind on stuff and be busy with schoolwork and stuff like that, and it's easy to get lost in all that.
It's great. Derek, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
Just about time for the third quarter here at the Clemente Center. Jerry Durney with you on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Tampa leading Clayton State 26-22. A quick look at the first half stats. Spartans shot 38% from the field, 9 of 24 overall. They were 2 of 5 from 3. That's good for 40%. They were 6 of 7 at the free throw line. It's good for 86%. The Lakers were 10 of 28 from the field. That brings them to a 36% clip. Just 1 of 5 from 3, 20%, and 1 of 4 at the foul line. Both teams with 9 turnovers. Clayton State got 8 points from Tampa's turnovers. The Spartans got 7 from those Lakers turnovers. Clayton State winning the rebounding battle 19-17 and 6-3 on the offensive glass. That's what the Laker coaching staff wanted. They've won the second chance points tussle 3-2. 6-4 in terms of bench points. Points in the paint are even at 10 each. Tampa has all 5 fast break points in this game. We've had 2 ties and 5 lead changes. Although Tampa have held the lead for the majority of the time. They've had the lead for 14 minutes and 47 seconds. Leading the way for Tampa in that first half was Marissa McDonald, 11 points and 3 rebounds. Audrey Ramsey with 6 points and 4 assists, played all 20 minutes. Vivian Gendy with 4 points and 2 rebounds. Olivia Davis had 3 points. Zoe Pillar just 1 for 5 from the field, but did have 6 rebounds as well. For Clayton State, their leading scorer, it was Jasmine Burtz, who was 3 of 5 from the field for 7 points, along with 2 rebounds. Jada White had 5, and then Jada Alston, Eteria Gibbons, Paige McDonald, and Cleo Worrells all had 2. Worrells with 6 rebounds, leading the way for Clayton State. Gibbons had a block, and Worrells also had 2 steals in that first half. In terms of foul trouble for both teams, for Clayton State, Alston and Henry both have 2 fouls. And for Tampa, it's McDonald and Sariana Rodriguez with 2, and that's it. So nobody in real trouble at the moment as Jada Wade brings Clayton State within 2. It's 26-24. We have played a minute so far in this third quarter. They had no one McDonald ahead. No one had her, but could not finish the layup. The follow-up did not go, and we have a jump ball. That'll be a possession arrow belonging to the Spartans. I mentioned Clayton State in recent years. Of course, they had that national championship in 2011. They beat Michigan Tech to do so. Reached the second round the following year before they were knocked out by Wingate. Went back to the Elite Eight in 2013 before they were defeated by Augustana. In recent years, they went in 2019. They lost in the first round to Wingate by 10. They did make the tournament in 2020 as Ramsey pushes the Tampa lead back out to 4. They did reach the tournament in 2020, but we all know what happened there. They made it in 2022, defeated Lenore Ryan in the first round. I should say that was in 23. Defeated Lenore Ryan in the first round before falling to Catawba on their floor. As Catawba was the number 1 overall seed in that region. Seven Peach Belt Conference regular season titles for the Lakers, the last of which coming in 2014. They've won the PBC tournament 4 times, the last of which came back in 2013. That shot won't go, and it's McDonald who has looked very impressive so far today. Can't finish the layup, however. It was knocked out of bounds by the Lakers. Inbound goes to Pillar. Her left-handed jumper will not go, and the rebound snatched by Alston. And here come the Lakers. McDonald will pick up the guard. And you know, Pillar and Ramsey are going to get tribute, but it's been Marissa McDonald who has been the one driving the bus today for the Spartans, although that's going to be an offensive foul on Dejanay Green. That's the second foul against the Lakers. Kyla Green will return, the freshman out of College Park, Georgia, as Green goes to the bench. That's her second. McDonald last year played in 31 games for Tampa and started twice. Prior to that, she was at the University of Vermont. Surprisingly, didn't see much time at Vermont. This just makes you wonder. I mean, watch McDonald, she's been very impressive. I'm just thinking, man, they had this right there. Jumper from Rodriguez does not go. Here goes Jada Wade. Kicking into the corner will be Kyla Green. She'll let it go. The three ball does not fall. Rebound by Alston. She'll go back up with it, working against Olivia Davis, and that will go for Jada Alston. That's her second basket of the day. It is a 2-point game once again, and Clayton State have kind of grinded this game and made things tough, and even if Tampa can feel good about their performance, they can't necessarily feel all that comfortable, as that was knocked away by Alston, and they could have had the outlet there if Green did not fumble the pass. Schedule continues later today. Looking at about a 4:30-ish tip for the start of the men's slate, which will be the Winter Classic. The Florida Tech men will play first against Trinity Baptist, and then Lynn will take on Dominican University out of New York. That'll be the 7 o'clock game later tonight. And we'll be right back here at noon tomorrow. Cross court, this goes to Rodriguez. Thought about going up with it, thought better of it. It's Ramsey. McDonald there with the screen. Fighting through it was Waite. Then no one picked up McDonald as the roller, but trouble at the basket. Did not get it to go, and the rebound taken by Armani Shaw. This is Alston going right through the post players at Tampa. Got the whistle, and she'll shoot two with a chance to tie the game. Returning for Clayton State, we'll see Cleo Worrells along with Hannah Wright. Rita Alston from Mobile, Alabama, out of Campbell High School. She's a transfer from Georgia Highlands Community College. While she was at Georgia Highlands, actually led them to the Division I Junior College National Championship game. Was named an all-conference player and defensive player of the year. Played in 27 games last year. And it's a 1-point game as we reach the midway point of the third. Tom Jesse said, we can't just stroll in here and think this is a win. There's McDonald's jumper. It's good. Over Worrells. And Marissa McDonald, every time Tampa's needed a basket, has come through today. She's got 13. The Spartan lead is 3. This is Green. Going across the top. The foul line jumper won't go. And out of all of that was Audrey Ramsey. We go right at Shaw. Finds McDonald. Ball fake. Pass went inside for Kath Van Bennekom. Foul was on the floor. Van Bennekom, a transfer out of New Mexico. Alston will go to the bench. Anaya Jones will check in. Junior out of New Rochelle, New York. Dribble handoff. And that'll be Sariana Rodriguez taking it from the top of the key and in. That's her first basket. Previously been 0 for 3 from the field. Tampa pushes the lead back out to 5. And this feels like Tampa's just starting to get the engines revved up here. Kept alive. The pass ultimately taken by Ramsey. Ahead of McDonald. Layup won't go. And the follow won't go by Davis. Tom Jesse seems baffled on the bench as the layups missed today. But a timeout taken by Clayton State, and I think this is going to be extended to a virtual media timeout. We'll take it with them. 4:26 to go in the third quarter. It's Tampa 32, Clayton State 27 on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Welcome back on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Quick look around the Sunshine State Conference scoreboard. Florida Southern leading Trinity College 94-26. 6:56 remaining in that one in Lakeland. 1:16 to go in the third quarter down in Fort Lauderdale. Nova Southeastern leading Northwest Missouri State 49-39. That would be an impressive win for the Sharks. 5:02 remaining in Las Vegas. Embry-Riddle trail Texas Tylers 60-53. Then with 3:50 to go in the first half, St. Leo leading Fort Lauderdale 38-21. There is one game later today, and that is Young Harris taking on Barry. That game up in Georgia. That's a 5 p.m. start. Back underway as Tampa looked like they've finally been able to put it together for a little bit here, trying to get some distance between themselves and Clayton State here in the third quarter. Davis. Over it goes to Van Bennekom. 13 to shoot. Ramsey will take it. There it is. Audrey Ramsey with her first three of the day. It's the third for the Spartans, and it's an 8-point lead. This is their largest lead of the game. Anaya Jones over to Shaw. Back up top for Hannah Wright. And that was a big one for Clayton State. They needed that. They are just 2 of 8 from 3, and that might have been the most timely of the two. Cross-court pass goes to Van Bennekom. They'll lay off for McDonald. She's working against Soraya Henry. And McDonald has done so many good things today for Tampa. The one thing that's eluded her has been the finishing. She is now 5 for 13, or make that 5 for 14 at the basket. And a lot of them have been from point-blank range as that shot goes out of bounds. And I believe we have ourselves another media timeout, which we'll take with them. 3:04 to go in the third quarter. It's Tampa 35, Clayton State 30 on the Florida Tech Digital Network.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
.304 remaining in the third quarter. It is a 35-30 Tampa lead. It has been even across the board. It was 12-10 Tampa after one. It was 26-22 at the break, and Tampa have pushed this lead only by a point. But it feels like Tampa starting to exert some strength here as the third quarter goes on. And Bennicum with the handoff. This will be Olivia Davis for three off the back iron. No good. Rebound by Jasmine Burtz. That's her third rebound of the day to go with 7 points. Her and Waite leading the way for Clayton State as this is Waite. That one's too long. Rebound volleyed out and a collision there between Ramsey and Jada Alston. Foul's going to be on Alston as Ramsey had the rebound controlled. That'll be should be the fourth team foul against Clayton State, so Tampa one away from the bonus. 2:20 to go in the third. Tampa started their season with an exhibition at Florida State. I mentioned Clayton State took the risk of going to play South Carolina. Was Florida State no slouches either. As that foul will be on Kath Van Bennicum. Then they went to British Columbia at the Division II Canadian Tip-Off Classic, and they beat Seattle Pacific, St. Edwards, and Simon Fraser. Then they came back, we mentioned, lost to a Clark Atlanta team that Clayton State beat. Lost at home by 7. First free throw good. Then beat Southeastern Oklahoma. Had relatively no trouble there. Same against Georgian Court. Beat Concord by 2. Lost by 2 in overtime to Mary. And then beat Florida Southern by 6. St. Leo by 16. And Lynn by 11. And that brings us to today. What is a 7-point lead. And that's going to be an offensive foul on Soraya Henry with the elbow. And Tampa starting to put it in motion. The Warrels will return as Soraya Henry goes to the bench for at least the final 2 minutes of the third quarter. This will be the end of Tampa's non-conference schedule. They'll play Flagler tomorrow, and then they will be off till New Year's Day. As ahead of everybody was Paige McDonald on the lay-in and the foul. And Clayton State hanging tough in this one as the foul will be on Audrey Ramsey. And for Ramsey, that's her first. Only player in foul trouble for the Spartans is Sariana Rodriguez, who has 3. Donald, with her first trip to the line today, converts. And this is a 4-point game as we come up on 90 seconds to play in the third. And the Lakers bring out the press. It finds Palmieri. Into the safe hands of Audrey Ramsey. Has played almost the entire game. As Tom Jesse has only gone 3 deep on the bench. There's one of the first bench points of the day for Tampa. That's Kath Van Bennicum. Gets her first bucket, the transfer from New Mexico, and it's a 6-point game as we come up on 60 seconds in the third. Boy, I thought that was going in for Worrells, rimmed out at the last second, and here come the Spartans. Rodriguez leading the break as Tampa will get set. Ramsey finding Van Bennicum. The foul was before the shot, although Tampa is in the bonus. So Van Bennicum will shoot 2. And Bennicum entering today was 8 of 11 at the free throw line this season. As a team, they shoot 76.5% at the charity stripe, and for a college team, you take that. We mentioned these two teams played last time just a little over 2 years ago, December 16th, 2022. Tampa were number 9 in the country that day. And of the two teams still left from that game, Jada Waite and Jasmine Burtz are and Hannah Wright are the only 3 left from Clayton State from that game as Nia Young converts. That'll slash the deficit to 6. For Tampa, it's Audrey Ramsey is the only Spartan left from that game playing today. Here's Rodriguez with 12 seconds left here in the third quarter. Tampa looking to close the third quarter with an exclamation point. Ramsey over the top of the screen fires. The three-pointer was short. Lakers have time for one more shot here. It's Nia Young right before the buzzer. And I thought that was going in, rimmed out at the last second. But we have a ball game going to the fourth. After 3, it's Tampa 41, Clayton State 35. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is the Florida Tech Holiday Classic on the Florida Tech Digital Network. We start the fourth quarter at the Clemente Center. Tampa leading Clayton State 41-35. Number 15 team in the country fighting through the slog today. They are up against it today against Clayton State. Here's the jumper from Paige McDonald. And the Lakers looking for a landmark win here in 2024. Might be in range. So here's on the floor right now for Tampa. On the floor, it's Olivia Davis, Audrey Ramsey, Kat Van Bennekom, Marissa McDonald, and Sariana Rodriguez. This is the drive from Ramsey. Kicks back out. Rodriguez closing fast is McDonald. The 3 won't go, and the rebound taken by Burtz. Almost fell to her knees to get it. Clayton State could really make things interesting with a bucket here. They have McDonald, Nia Young, Jada Waite, Jasmine Burtz, and Leo Worrells, who knocks that down. And this is a 2-point game. This would be a true upset if Clayton State would come in with a record of 2-7 and beat a top 15 team. Rodriguez. Over it goes for McDonald, being guarded by Worrells. McDonald into the paint, back out for Van Bennekom. Will let it go from deep just to beat the shot clock. It's no good, and the rebound taken by Worrells, who now has 7 on the day. Burtz, and then mishandled by McDonald, and ultimately tracked down by Van Bennekom. Here's Ramsey off the feed from McDonald. Al's offline, and the rebound grabbed by Nia Young. And everyone from Clayton State's had something to do with this one today as McDonald stumbled and it was knocked out of bounds by a Spartan. 22 on the shot clock. Spartans led by Marissa McDonald, who has 13. Audrey Ramsey has 11. For Clayton State, Paige McDonald, Jada Waite, and Jasmine Burtz, all with 7. And it goes to McDonald, the 6-foot junior out of Vero Beach. Inside it goes to Worrells. She's fouled by Pillar. And I believe that is Pillar's, well, that'll be her second. An all-conference player, Zoe Pillar is. She's had 2 points and 6 rebounds in 16 minutes today. So I don't know if you see a player of her caliber being muzzled like this. Worrells will shoot 2. Her first trip to the line today. Clayton State as a team just 3 for 7. Tampa, meanwhile, 10 of 11. And Worrells hits the first. She's got 7 rebounds in this one. She hits both, and we are tied with 7:50 left. I genuinely have no feel for where this game's going. It looked like Tampa was about to pull away in the midway point of the third quarter. I think they led by as many as 9. And you thought this game might be over, and Clayton State have just been able to weather every Spartan surge. Here's the drive by McDonald, blocked by Worrells. And Clayton State can take their first lead of the day. Their only lead has been 2-0. Off the back iron on the 3 by Burtz. Ramsey will direct traffic. Clayton State with a substitution upcoming. Rodriguez through the screen of Pillar. Back it goes to Pillar. McDonald fighting in the paint there against McDonald. It's Marissa McDonald against Paige McDonald, and Marissa will draw the foul. And the second against Paige McDonald, first of the quarter for Clayton State. Both teams have had 1 foul here in the fourth quarter to this point. So there's some room to give here before we get to the bonus. McDonald's been to the line once. She hit both on that trip. Hits the first. She's got 14 today. Second one does not go. The rebound ran down by Nia Young. Now got her 3rd rebound. Olsen for Waite, who is 3 for 10, and that's turned over. That's her first turnover of the day for Clayton State. That's their 14th, although Tampa have only turned that into 7 points. Clayton going man here as Rodriguez fighting through all of it. Lost it, got it back over to Olivia Davis. Shot clock down to 8. This is Ramsey finding Pillar, working against Worrells, and that's going to be a traveling violation on Pillar. That's her 2nd turnover. And there just seems to be general confusion on the state of the Spartans' faces. There just seems to be a lot of, what is this? Olsen for Waite. Lakers putting a lot of motion right now on offense. There's the drive by Burtz, won't go, and the rebound pulled out of the air by Rodriguez, her 4th. Ramsey into the paint, kicks back out. This is McDonald, 4-3, got it. Her 2nd of the day. She's had both attempts. Biggest basket of the game by either team. Some breathing room for the Spartans. It moves the lead to 45-41 as we come up on the 5-minute mark to play. Waite with the floater in the lane, doesn't go. The foul was on the rebound there by Alston before she put the shot up. So that'll be on Olivia Davis. That's her first. But it's the 2nd team foul against Tampa, so still got some room on the before we get to the bonus. And a timeout taken by Kalina Coleman, and we'll stretch it to the media timeout at the 5:01 mark here of the fourth quarter. It's number 15 Tampa 45, Clayton State 41. We'll be right back. This is the Florida Tech Holiday Classic on the Florida Tech Digital.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
.501 remaining. And every time you've been ready to count Clayton State out of this game, they respond. Well, what do they do here after a big three from Marissa McDonald? Extends the lead to 4 as Worrells with another rebound kicks it back out to Wade. Worrells now with 9 rebounds on the afternoon. Pass goes over to Alston, 11 to shoot here. Runner in the lane, got fouled. I believe that's Davis, and it is. And that's Davis' second. She'll shoot 2. Worrells with the 9 rebounds. That's the most of anyone who's played today. No other Laker has more than 5. Ada Alston with 5 points on 2 of 4 shooting today. She's also got 5 rebounds. First free throw is good. Clayton State getting it together at the free throw line. They're now at 6 of 10 after what had been a grisly start to their day at the free throw line. A stop here, and they got a chance to tie. Rodriguez over for Ramsey. Thought about passing it to McDonald, just did not have the space. Ramsey will survey it. 12 to shoot as this finds McDonald again. Wants to get it back to Rodriguez. There's 6 to shoot. Pillar screen not really there, however. Down to 3, down to 2. Rodriguez will drive and let it go and beats the buzzer. Sariana Rodriguez with her second field goal of the day, her biggest, to keep the Lakers at arm's length. This is Paige McDonald looking to answer on the other end, and that hit the strap that holds the basket up. So that's a dead ball. Clayton State now 2 of 11 beyond the arc. Inbound goes to Rodriguez, and Clayton State will put 3 in the backcourt here to apply the press. And now it becomes more of a 2-2-1. This is Ramsey with the floater in the paint. Caught the front part of the rim, rolled in. Audrey Ramsey with 13. Her 2 biggest points of the day, pushes the lead to 6. Nia Young, and pulling that out of the air was Zoe Pillar, I should say. 5th steal of the day by the Spartans, and that's going to be a traveling violation. Boy, Tampa had a chance to maybe put the game away with another basket there, and a potential lifeline for Clayton State. Anyway, should point out on the SSC scoreboard, Florida Southern, a 109-29 victory against Trinity College today. Nova Southeastern looks like they will pick up an impressive win at home over Northwest Missouri State, 71-52. There's 2:11 to play at the Rick Case Arena. Embry-Riddle falls to Texas Tyler, 76-64. That is Texas Tyler's second win over a ranked team this week. And St. Leo early in the second half leading Fort Lauderdale 52-28. We mentioned Barry is at Young Harris. That'll be a 5 p.m. tip. McDonald over to Rodriguez and into the post. This is Pillar working against Cleo Worrells, and it just beats the shot clock. And 2 massive free throws here for Zoe Pillar, who is going to the line for the first time today. With 2:39 to play. Foul was on Worrells, that's her second, and Nia Young will head to the bench. So on the floor at the moment for Clayton State as Pillar misses. Jada Waite, Jasmine Burtz, Hannah Wright, Paige McDonald, and Cleo Worrells. Well, the 5 on the floor for Clayton State as Pillar hits her second, and that makes it a 7-point Spartan lead. Here's Waite. Step back 3 with Ramsey closing, won't go. That was offline. And the rebound taken by Sariana Rodriguez, her 5th of the day. Ramsey has it over the timeline. Waite trying to make something happen. Miller over for Rodriguez. Lakers doing a lot of switching on defense. Into the corner, the three-pointer is good for McDonald. That's her 3rd, and that might be the dagger. She's got 20, and the Spartans lead by 10 with 1:50 to go. As Alston's jumper will not fall. Clayton State have now gone 3 minutes without a basket. They're 0 for their last 7 from the field, and they couldn't come at a worse time. And if you're Audrey Ramsey, you're just trying to kill time now. You don't necessarily need to score here, but you do need to make sure Clayton State don't get the ball. Davis into Pillar with 5 to shoot. It's Rodriguez working against Alston. At the foul line, a jumper, didn't get it off. And it'll be a shot clock violation, but if you're Tampa, that's another 30 seconds that Clayton State didn't have a chance to cut into the lead. 1:16 to go. And a timeout taken by Kalina Coleman. Will take it with her. There's 1:16 left in this one. It's Tampa 53, Clayton State. Welcome back. 1:16 left in this one. Tampa leading Clayton State by 10. Clayton State will take over. They have gone 3 minutes and 27 seconds since their last points. 0 of 8 from the field, and Tampa's done just enough to be able to create some separation. And it's gone from a 2-point game in that time to 10. And that's kind of been the defining mark of these first 2 games so far, is what team goes cold in the fourth quarter, as that might have been Clayton State's last shot right there. Waite knocked it out of bounds, so Clayton right now going almost with a 2-1-1 here with the press. And then the deep one is going to be a Taria Gibbons. For Tampa, they're more content to just burn time. And you got a 10-point lead. The other team has to start fouling her. They're the ones that have to get the turnovers. You don't have to be in a rush. And Ramsey doing exactly that with 5 to shoot. Cross-court pass goes to Rodriguez. It's short. Rebound by Waite. And her pass is intercepted by Rodriguez, and that'll do it. Steal by Waite, but time is now the Lakers' enemy as Waite's jumper rims out, no good. And there's a rebound for Olivia Davis. That is her 8th. She'll be fouled, and it's the 3rd team foul against Clayton State, so they have one more to give before the Spartans start to enter the bonus. Tom Jesse will take Audrey Ramsey out. Georgia Palmieri will return. Dejanay Green heads to the bench for the Lakers, and a collision there between Waite and Davis. And that's the 4th team foul against Clayton State. And right now these last 11.3 seconds feel procedural. And it goes to Palmieri. The pass gonna be high. It finds Pillar, however, and a tip pass over to Marissa McDonald, who just wants to make sure to keep it in bounds as time will run out. And the Tampa Spartans find a way through. They hold Clayton State to 8 points in the 4th quarter. And they have gone on to pick up their 10th win of the year. So let's take a look at the final stats of this one. As the Spartans went 18 of 49 from the field to shoot 37% in total. 5 of 15 from three-point range. That's good for 33%. They were 12 of 15 at the line. And how big was that? An 80% clip. While Clayton State were 17 of 55 from the field. That's a 31% mark. Just 2 of 13 from deep. That is only 15%. And Clayton State, 7 of 11 at the free throw line, 64% in total. Clayton State had 16 turnovers. Tampa got 7 points off of those, while the Spartans had 15 turnovers. The Lakers turned that into 11 points. Clayton State won the rebound advantage, 37-35, and 10-6 on the offensive glass, 7-4 in terms of second chance points, 20-8 in terms of bench points. Tampa win the points in the paint battle 22-18, and fast break points 5-3. So if you're Clayton State, this was a game you could have gotten the upset here, but they go 2 for 12 from the field in the 4th quarter, including 0 for 4 from 3. We had 3 ties and 5 lead changes as Clayton State now fall to 2 and 8 on the year. They will play Florida Tech at 12 noon tomorrow. We mentioned Tampa is now 10 and 2, and they will be back in action tomorrow at 2 p.m. against Flagler. Well, we hope you've enjoyed today's broadcast. If you're going to hang around with us, we'll have the men tipping off at 5 p.m., I believe now, they will take on Trinity Baptist, and then that'll be followed at 7:30 by Lynn and Dominican University. For my executive producer, Matt Padway, I'm Jerry Durney, signing off from the Clemente Center on the campus of Florida Tech in Melbourne, where once again, your final score, Tampa 53, Clayton State 43. You've been watching the Florida Tech Holiday Classic on the Florida Tech Digital Network.